Alright, let's dive into something that's been stirring up the cricket world lately. Imagine this, the 2027 ODI World Cup is on the horizon, and instead of everyone being hyped, there's this underlying tension, especially among associate nations. Why? Because the ICC just dropped a bombshell with their new Super Series format, and it's got everyone talking. But here's the twist, Namibia Cricket Chair Rudi van Vuuren is urging everyone to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Personally, I think this is where things get really interesting. It's not just about the format change, it's about what this shift says about the future of cricket. First off, let's talk about the Super Series. 2 teams get eliminated after just 2 matches. But Namibia's captain Gerhard Erasmus called it out, saying it feels like associate nations are getting the short end of the stick again. And he's not alone. Scott Edwards from the Netherlands hinted at double standards, and Scotland's Richie Barrington demanded more inclusion in decision-making. These aren't just complaints, they're valid concerns about fairness and opportunity. But here's where Van Vuuren's perspective flips the script. He's saying, hold on, let's look at the context. What makes this really interesting is his argument that ODI cricket's popularity is uncertain. In my opinion, this is a bold statement, especially when ODIs have been a cornerstone of the sport for decades. But if you take a step back and think about it, T20s are undeniably dominating viewership and engagement. So, is this shift towards T20s just a trend, or is it the future? Van Vuuren believes the funding mechanisms will tilt towards T20 World Cups, which could mean more opportunities for associate nations in that format. Now, this raises a deeper question: are we witnessing a strategic pivot by the ICC to grow the game globally through T20s? I mean, cricket's Olympic ambitions are no secret, and T20s are the format most likely to get us there. But what does this mean for ODIs and Test cricket? One thing that immediately stands out is the potential marginalization of longer formats, which could alienate traditionalists. Yet, from my perspective, cricket's survival might depend on its ability to adapt to modern audiences. Another detail I find fascinating is the 2028 T20 World Cup's global qualifier. Instead of regional slots, it's now a single tournament for the top associates. This feels like a trial run for a new structure, and Van Vuuren hints that it's tied to ICC's funding model. What this really suggests is that the ICC is experimenting with ways to make cricket more competitive and financially sustainable. But here's the catch: associate nations are often the ones bearing the brunt of these experiments. What many people don't realize is that these teams operate on shoestring budgets, and sudden changes like these can be devastating. Now, let's talk about the World Test Championship. There's speculation that Zimbabwe might join, but Ireland and Afghanistan's lack of interest in Tests is a red flag. Financially, Tests are a tough sell for smaller nations, and this highlights a broader issue: the imbalance between formats. Personally, I think the ICC needs to address this if they want cricket to thrive globally. Van Vuuren's optimism about the future is commendable, especially his belief in Jay Shaw's vision to make cricket the world's biggest sport. But optimism alone won't cut it. The ICC needs to ensure that associate nations aren't just along for the ride, they need to be active participants in shaping the sport's future. So, here's my closing thought: cricket is at a crossroads. The decisions being made today will define its trajectory for decades. While Van Vuuren's call to look at the bigger picture is valid, we can't ignore the immediate challenges facing associate nations. In my opinion, the ICC needs to strike a balance between innovation and inclusivity. Because let's be honest, what's cricket without its underdogs? Let me know what you think. Is the ICC on the right track, or are they risking the very essence of the game? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation going.